Hello guys, my name is Diana. This is Diana Simplifies. I'm going to tell you at the beginning of this video, I'm sitting right in front of the window unit air conditioner. I have it where it will just stay on, so it will be a constant hum. So just letting you know, I am southern hot. I am extremely hot here. So it is, my thermometer says it's 97 degrees, which probably means we're like 93, but whatever. Once it's over 90, it's like boiling, right? So let's just go ahead and admit that it's boiling hot here in the Memphis and surrounding areas. Okay, so today it's time for 10 Minutes Better. This is a collaboration with Melinda from Melinda Plain and Simple. Melinda and I have become such good friends over the last few months. I met her over on Minimal Mom's channel. If you've ever watched Minimal Mom, we were talking to each other in the comments, and now Melinda and I basically text each other every day of the week. So this is a collaboration that she started. There's several other ladies participating. It's always on the first Friday of every month, and so here we are. Tomorrow, Friday, will be July 1st, and so we all know what we're celebrating. If you live here in America, we're celebrating our Independence Day. So freedom is our July theme, and she wanted us to discuss, or really I think most people will be decluttering. If you want to see decluttering, refer to the playlist. I'm going to show you what I have already decluttered. We're going to be doing freedom from our fantasy self or selves. Now, you may have several fantasy selves, and if you don't really know what a fantasy self is, that is okay. Probably up to 2 years ago, I had never heard of that, so don't feel like you're missing out on anything. It's just something that people who declutter talk about. For instance, let's say that in your past, you did a lot of sewing, or you had some other sort of craft type project that you enjoyed doing. One of mine was scrapbooking. I decided just to focus on one thing today, but I can talk about in my past, I did do some scrapbooking. I'm not really a creative person. I was never really good at it. I really don't enjoy cutting my pictures up, if I'm being 100% honest. My friend was selling the items. I was doing the nice thing, and I bought the items from her. They were, as you can imagine, quite expensive, because when you buy things that way, they cost you about 3 times more than just running to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and getting them on sale. So I paid a lot of money to do this hobby that I really was not cut out for. That's just not my thing at all. I'm happy to just have photos in a photo album. That just makes me happy as pie. So I have decluttered all my crap. Did I just say that? All my scrap. I should rename it that. Crap booking. I'm sorry. Redo. Nope. Anyway, I have decluttered my scrap booking. I'm very sorry. I did not mean to say that, but that's like a Freudian slip, I think, because it was never up my alley. That's not my personality. It's not my way of thinking. There's nothing about that is me. So anybody who knows me knows that's not my thing. So it's not that I was horrible at it, it's just not my thing. To sit down and to cut up pictures and to do borders and cutesy like penmanship. I did cutesy penmanship when I was a kid, but I just don't care about that now. So anyway, moving on, I have already, I still have the one scrapbook that I did put together, and I have actually some extra pages that didn't fit into the scrapbook. So, I mean, I could have showed that, but it's just basically cat pictures and dog pictures from, 25 years ago. So, what I was going to discuss today was the fantasy self I had. Actually, let me just back up. Growing up as a kid, I was an avid reader. I read constantly. If you asked me as a child, what did I love most? Playing outside, running through the woods, going in the woods with my dog, and just, wandering, just the two of us, or reading. My dad had made kind of my dad's not a builder, so he had made sort of a rudimentary, what I would call a rudimentary treehouse. After school, I would get up in the treehouse. It was it wasn't way up high. It was in kind of a shorter tree that my parents still have that tree today. and it was just basically a flat surface, and I could climb the tree, sit up there. I remember taking snacks. I think I had stuff like marshmallows. I had like probably graham crackers. I probably maybe had some apple slices. Mom always cut up apples for me. I never just like, now I'll just sit and eat an apple, like, but Mom just always cut apples up for us. We always had sliced apples. That was always a thing that was in our lunch. So probably I was up there with marshmallows, maybe some graham crackers, maybe some chocolate, probably some chocolate, if maybe some cookies, maybe some chocolate chip cookies, and probably some apple slices and stuff like that. Maybe even some orange slices. I don't even remember it now. And my books. Now, Honey was my dog, and Honey was not a honey-colored dog. Honey was black and white, long-haired. Her hair was crazy long. She needed actual grooming, and we were country people. My parents aren't really country folk, but we lived in the country. It was a long time ago, and we didn't do like the grooming like what everybody does now. So the dog had very long hair, pretty unkempt. It wasn't the best. And she couldn't go up in the tree house with me, so I would imagine she was just probably at the foot of the tree. Honestly, I don't remember where she was, but I was probably up there reading and doing a lot of reading. So in my past, that was a huge thing for me. Well, fast forward to now, and actually fast forward to about the age 25, that was kind of when the reading, I don't know what it was. Once I graduated from college, I graduated when I was 23. We got married a week later. Spencer and I got married. Mila's here. Would you like to speak to us? I'm sorry, I opened the door over there hoping she would sit in the doorway, be quiet, just for this video. Anyway, Spencer and I got married a week after graduation, and then it seems like within about 2 years of that time, the reading started falling off. And when I talk about, I was just like a voracious reader. I would just read anything I could get my hands on. When I remember in 4th grade reading Little Women, that was like a big thing. I think maybe one friend of mine and me, we were reading really difficult books. I think most 4th graders, and you may have kids that were reading stuff like that, but I think the majority, 4th graders are reading easier chapter books, nothing like that. Although with Harry Potter, I think kids started reading longer books, longer and longer at younger ages. So I'm not saying it was never heard of, but at the time that I was reading Louisa May Alcott books, the other kids in my class, and I was at a private school, they were not reading the same thing I was reading. And I'm not saying that to because I'm better than everybody. It had nothing to do with that. I was just an avid reader. I read anything I could get my hands on. I read biographies of presidents, and of course these were kid books. These weren't biographies like this, but children's books, all kinds of, my library had all these different biographies of different famous people, presidents. And I remember Robert E. Lee, just loved it. I read a book about him, loved it. So I was always at the library. My mom carried me. It was downtown. We lived quite a ways from downtown, but she was always carrying me. I would do the summer reading program. I would have the sheet of paper with, all checked off, all the books I'd read, the little sticker, whatever they gave you there at the library. I did all that every year. It was a big deal. But like I said, as I got older, married, even when we were living in our duplex, we started out already with several pets. It was, our life just changed dramatically when we got married. There were just pets everywhere. It was just, I don't know, it was crazy. But anyway, we ended up with all these pets. We moved into this house 2 years after we got married. We have had so many pets here. We live on a busy highway. Unfortunately, there were some tragedies along the way. There were others with health problems, lots of tragedies. Unfortunately, some were not on the highway. Some were just health issues, and it just didn't go well. So anyway, all of that, I just got really busy with working, and of course we didn't have children, but we had all these pets. So working, rescuing pets, taking care of pets. We have a long drive because of where we live. And so basically reading just took a back burner, and I got to where my mind, I just could not focus. I'm a real active person. I feel like I'm more hyper now than ever. Like the older I get, the worse it gets. Like I don't sit down, and I think most people probably, if I didn't tell you that, you wouldn't know that about me. Yeah, I don't sit down and watch anything. Like I love YouTube, but I'm in my kitchen all the time. Sunshine, y'all know, that's my sick cat. She's in the kitchen with me. She doesn't run all over the house. She's very confined to that space. Now I have been letting her come in here some. She sort of terrorizes these two cats. But the way everything's gone, I'm just a very hyper person. I'm up, I'm doing stuff. I clean houses for a living. It's just a very active lifestyle. I'm not out hiking, biking, and rowing or anything like that, but I'm a very active person here around the house. I'm cleaning my house. I'm taking care of Sunshine. Ranger, who's always right here. He's always right here. Ranger's not just an ordinary dog. He has his little issues we've talked about. So I'm very, very kind of hyper, busy, dealing with all that. So I don't sit down for hours. And when you're reading, you're sitting. So at some point, I don't know, in the last 2 or 3 years, honestly, I don't remember when the decluttering started. I would say it's probably been 4 years I've been decluttering. At some point, these books were I feel like they were just taking over my life. I'd had we don't have like built-in bookcases, and I don't want them. It's not something I would want to dust. My mom has them. They're beautiful. I dust my mom's. I do not want to dust my own. That's just me. I think they're beautiful. It's just not anything that I personally want, and we had 2 bookcases, and at some point I just told Spencer, I just want to be rid of these bookcases. And so we boxed, and he quit reading probably about the same time as I did, actually probably before I did. He's really into computers, computer games. He comes home, he loves to game. He also watches YouTube. Times have changed, and some people are still avid readers, and we just aren't. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay not to be a reader. It really is, especially when you've spent, half your life up to, really I'm 53 years old. For 25 years, I read and read and read and read and read. For the first 3 or 4 years, I was read to, and then after that, I read. And, as soon as I was able to read, I was reading by myself. I didn't need anyone else to, sit in the rocker with me. I was doing it myself. So it's okay to switch gears and go into something else. And so that's what I did. So I was like, I just want these bookcases out of here. We just had too much furniture. This house is pretty large for 2 people. It's not huge, but it's about 2,600 square feet. The ceilings are very high, which makes it look larger. Like, these are 12-foot ceilings, and this is our bedroom I'm in today because I got to sit by this air conditioner because I'm so hot. Feeling much better sitting here, but anyway, I just didn't want those bookcases anymore, and I didn't want anything built in. I wanted the books to just go hide somewhere. So for a few years after that, the books hid in some drawers, and we had some furniture that we weren't using for anything else. If anyone comes over, they stay in, that's the room they were in, the guest room. We had a full set of furniture. My husband used to be in furniture manufacturing. It was his family's business. That unfortunately went out of business. He still works for his family in a different area, but that furniture went out of business, but they had bedroom furniture. So this set that's in here with me, this was free. We did not pay for it because that's part of the perk of, being in the family and the furniture manufacturing. We had our bedroom furniture. And then when they were going out of business, I said, I want that set in there. So what I ended up doing was getting rid of the bookshelves, opening drawers, putting books in drawers. So they were hidden, so nobody could see them. And it wasn't because I didn't want them showing. I just needed a place to put them. Well, fast forward a little bit more. Once I started decluttering, I was like, you know what? We don't read. If we're going to read something, we get on the internet and read it. That's just, I'm not huge on lots and lots of technology or kids being attached to iPads and things like that, but I'm an adult, and if I want to read on an iPad, then I can do that. And so I just am to the point in my life, if I want one of the books that I've decluttered, I can just go buy it. I can just get on Amazon and order, but I've gotten rid of many, 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 many books, probably hundreds, and I don't miss them. So that is a fantasy self, my reading that I have decluttered. And it doesn't mean I'm never going to pick up a book again. I have 2 books sitting on my bedside table, which of course we all know I don't read those books. They're sitting there in case I want to have a summer reading program here at the house, which it's now, tomorrow's July. No, I haven't started my summer reading program yet. But it's okay. They're still sitting there. They're nice, clean summer reads that if I want to pick them up and read them, I can. So what I was going to do is going to show you, I actually have some of my favorite books sitting out, and that's part of my decor. I'm not the best decorator in the world. You wouldn't come to my house and go, oh, the decor here. That's not really going to be me. You're not going to get super excited about my decor. But I just want to show you my special books because I decluttered my fantasy self, and the books that I kept are ones that are special to me, and the other books went to a book sale. I've sent them off to like 2 or 3 different book sales. It makes me happy that the library made a little bit of money off the books that I sent. And one time it was boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes. It was probably 15, I would say 15 boxes, good, not huge, but something I could pick up. Good sized boxes of books. So the first one I'm going to show you is Little Bird. This is, I don't even remember this book. I don't remember this from my childhood at all, but I'm sure it was read to me, and it was given to me on the year of my birth, which is 1969, and my mama wrote in the book. And so even though I don't remember it, I thought, well, that's precious. I'll keep this book. And so I have this sitting out in the room that I usually film in, and usually it ends up falling over, but I just have it propped up. So when we walk through the house, I just have it propped up like this, or it just sits like this, just as decor, and this kind of matches the decor in there. Okay, so that's my first book. Now, this is a group of books that my dad, well, really my parents, but my dad probably picked them out. He wrote in every one of these. These are all little biblical-based books, and every time I had a report card, and I was a very dedicated student, let's put it that way. My parents expected you to make A's, and so you made A's. You didn't make C's, you made A's. And I don't know that it's because I was all that smart. That's just what you did. In my house, you made A's, and that was just the end of it, okay? I'll just tell you flat out, that's how it was. So, and am I upset about it? No, it doesn't bother me. I just studied and did what I was supposed to do. Okay, so we have Daniel and the lions, and I'm not going to go through every single one. We have the little man, that's Zacchaeus, if you remember him, Moses and the river baby. So all of these are little biblical books. They're very cute. It says Warner Press. So anyway, it's a whole series. Very First Bible Stories is what it's called. So these are special to me. Now, my parents gave me many, 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 many books over the years. They wrote in every single one of them. And when I decluttered, I got rid of a lot of them. And they would probably not be happy about that. So we just keep it to ourselves. We don't go around saying, I've decluttered all these books. I'm telling you. Because there's no reason for you to keep all these books. Okay, Pudd'nhead Wilson by Mark Twain. We read this in school. The reason this is still special to me, because honestly I don't even remember this book much, but I had a cat I named Puddin', and that sweet kitty, something terrible happened to that cat, and he got very sick. He was like sunshine. He was very special to me. He died when he was like 3 years old. True story. I have some very sad cat stories. But anyway, I called him Pudd'nhead. I don't know why I called him that, but it was like in a reference to this book. So I've kept this because it reminds me of pudding, or what we called Pudd'nhead. Okay, so the Curious Clubhouse. We all read this when we were kids. I don't know this was even my book. My mom ended up just giving me a lot of stuff, and I think all of us at my house read this. So I like that one. Mine for keeps. I think this was my sister's. Love this book. It's precious. And these are books that I don't know necessarily I'll be able to find. I haven't tried to find them, but I just keep them. This is Welcome Home Jelly Bean. And these days, okay, I'll just say my dad's a clinical psychologist. He's still working. He's 90 years old. Still a psychologist, still working 1 day a week. He works at home, but he also goes in 1 day a week and does Zoom calls with prisoners, in case you didn't know that. Just a little fun fact from my life. But I was going to give this book away, and it refers, I think, to this child as being retarded, and that's something we don't use that word anymore. And I thought, I don't want them throwing this book away because of a reference to that. So I just decided to keep it. So that's why I'm keeping this one. I had a feeling it would just get thrown out, and it would just be thought of as inappropriate. I don't find it to be inappropriate. It was the wording of the day. One of my absolute favorites, I always read Judy Blume, but Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. One of my absolute favorites. Love this book. I haven't read it in 100 years, but seriously, I was probably 12 when I read it, so 40 years ago. Yep, love all Judy Blume. That's the only one I kept. The only Judy Blume, I think the only one I have left. I'm not even sure I had others. I may have already gotten rid of them, or I may have just checked those out, but that one I wanted to keep. I wanted it to be my own. The New Day In and Day Out. This is a very old book, and I talked about this in a video. I thought this was my dad's, but it's not old enough to be my dad's. So it's an old book, but it's not quite that old, and I don't even remember without looking, but it's the Alice and Jerry books, and I just like it. It's old. I just like the way it looks, so I kept that. It is kind of special. The All of a Kind Family, that's a cute one. These are just things that I just remember from being a kid. Clifford's still around. Morris and Boris, anybody remember them? I actually don't remember this book. Let me see. This is really looks very old. Animal Stories to Read Aloud. I really don't remember. I'm not sure this was mine. I don't remember ever reading it, but I just kept hung on to it. Cannot talk, y'all. Cannot talk. And the same idea here. I do not recall this one, but because it was older like this, I hung on to it. It kind of looks like it would fall apart if you gave it away, so I'm just keeping it. Socks, Beverly Cleary. Love that. Ribsy. Uh-oh, my pile is falling. Ribsy, Beverly Cleary. Do any of y'all remember these? Now this, my parents gave me this. I think my parents gave me this. And it's one of those cat books where you just have all kinds of breeds and stuff like that, so you can kind of look up. Now the stuff is coming off, but it's Treasury of Aesop's Fables, so I kept that. And then I had the Kittens and the Puppies books. And we have a mold issue here, so this is mold that's on here that I cannot, I think I tried to wipe it off and it just wasn't wiping, but another one of my favorites, Where the Wild Things Are. Love this. You can't get rid of that one. Now, the other fantasy self I got rid of, I was a pianist. I was not any sort of concert pianist or anything like that, but I took piano lessons for, I think, at least 10 years, starting when I was about 5 years old. So I think I had 3 different teachers. My favorite teacher retired and started doing, she wasn't old. She retired from piano teaching when I was around 15. So between 5 and 15, I took piano. I did not like my first 2 teachers at all. My third teacher I loved, and then she left me. I would have continued to take with her. Other than that, I didn't really want to take piano, but I did love Rebecca. She was amazing. And so I'm going to put my hand over that because my name's on it, but my other name, Hannon the Virtuous, is that what it says? Virtuoso pianist. This is an awesome book. This is book 1, but this looks hard. But it's just piano exercises to exercise your fingers. It's really amazing. So I kept that. And I actually think maybe this is my brother's. I can't find a name on this, but I don't think this is mine. I'm not even sure why I kept it. I did keep some of my brother's stuff. My brother passed away of cancer. So I have some of my brother's piano books that I did keep, and that may be his. And then Scales and Chords. That is mine. And then this was one of my very favorite little books. It's just a little book of little songs. And this was one of my favorite ones that I could still, if I wanted to sit down and play, and I do have piano, if I wanted to sit down and play these are easy enough, I could still play those. And then these were my brother's. My brother's name was Richard, so these were his books, and I am keeping those. And I guess this was his too. My dad wrote his name on there, but I think my dad's name and my brother's name were the same, and I don't think this is my dad's book. I think this is my brother's. So anyway, I'll just cover that name up. Okay, so that's what we're talking about, fantasy selves and decluttering. So that's not all of that. I think that is all of my piano books I have left, but this is not all my reading books. But the ones that I have sitting out decked sort of as decor, those are the ones I could easily run and get real quick for the video. So that's all we're talking about this week, and I think you'll see other people, if you look at the playlist, they'll actually be decluttering their fantasy selves, and it could be something as simple as maybe they used to do a lot of biking and they're decluttering their biking clothes or accessories, or maybe they I just don't know, anything you could think of, any sports that you don't do anymore, any sort of crafts you don't do anymore, sewing projects, craft projects, cross stitch, like I said, scrapbooking, anything like that you're not doing anymore, and you don't, maybe you haven't done it for 20 years. This would be a good time to just think about, do you need to keep those items? Are those weighing you down? Are they holding you back? Are they taking up space that you could use for other things? And I've talked about on here before, one of the main reasons, other than getting out from under clutter, one of the reasons I wanted to get a lot of my spaces cleaned out was so I could do more prepping. I'm not like a huge, oh my gosh, the world is ending prepper, but I'm a prepper to the point that I want to have toilet paper on hand. I don't want to be running around looking for toilet paper and paper towels. I don't want to look for laundry detergent. I don't want to look for fabric softener. I just want it to be there. And shampoo, conditioner, I've got razors for Spencer, I've got shaving cream for Spencer, I've got body wash for Spencer. Really, anything that Spencer might possibly need for the next year, other than food, and we do have food stored up too, but just things that Spencer might need on a day-to-day basis, they are here in the house. He doesn't have to go out and buy, unless it's just some extra, like I know he had to buy some Visine or something because he was having a problem with his eye, and of course I'm thinking to myself, you should have told me I could have couponed for that, but y'all, I zipped my lip, I zipped it. I didn't come out and say I could have got that $2 cheaper. I didn't say why didn't you ask me? Y'all, I was proud. It was a proud moment because y'all know when you coupon, you can get it cheaper. You don't go to Walmart and pick that up. You get it cheaper, y'all. You just do. All right, so that's what we're talking about today. Fantasy Self. Thank you to Melinda from Melinda Plain and Simple for hosting the collab. Thank you to the other ladies who are participating. Love you guys. I think I probably ran on too long. I can't see what the clock says, so I probably just talked and talked. I love each and every one of you. Do y'all want to see Ranger real quick if you're still here? Ranger. There he is. There he is. All right, you guys. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Talk to you soon.